the Patriots game this week. Bills are going to New England. 9-point underdogs. The Patriots are at home. I don't know if I've ever seen that in my lifetime. 9-point underdogs. And 40 is the over-under. Ben, I'll let you take the floor. I'll let you take the floor on this.
This is going to be one of those where the over is going to hit, but it's going to be one team scoring. I think the Pats lose 45-13. I think they get absolutely shredded. I think Bill's shot. I think Bill's done, at least in New England. Maybe a little later we'll talk about where he could end up. But I think Bill's done in New England. I think he's done there. I think he's ruined Mac Jones. Do I think that Mac Jones was ever going to be a Hall of Fame caliber player? No. But is he supposed to be far better than what he is right now? Yeah, 100% he is.
Yeah.
I think last year Bill ruined his confidence. I think there's no trust between Mac and the organization, let alone just Bill. I don't think he trusts anyone on the team anymore. I think Bill O'Brien has done what he can with the horrendous amount of talent that he has with this offense. Obviously, Judon and Gonzalez getting hurt. We saw the writing on the wall on that one. Those were easily your two best players. No one's bought in at this point, and I don't think they should be. Clearly, no one's buying what Bill's selling. I think Bill has checked out since about that Cowboys loss. I think he checked out after that one, and I think the team as a whole checked out after that one. This team is horrendous. They're not good. They have no talent. And I'm going to enjoy watching them get blown out on Sunday. I think it's going to be funny.
Yeah, so really quickly while we're on this, do you think that at this point, are you good and are you looking forward to the idea of the Patriots kind of tanking this one out and looking for a top pick, maybe a quarterback?
Yes. I want the Pats to get Drake May. If you get Drake May, let's just get into it. Let's get into my plan for the Pats.
Let's hear it.
Bill's got to go. You got to trade Bill. You have to trade Bill, and you have to get some kind of asset for him. Because, listen, I know people are going to be like, oh, well, he's shot, he's done. All right. How many times have you seen a coach look like he's done, and then a team still gives him a chance to regroup and recover? You saw with Mike Ditka when he went to the Saints. He did a horrible job there, but they still went for it. But, yeah, you saw with Jimmy Johnson going to Miami. That's another example of it.
You're seeing it now with Sean Payton almost, you know?
Yeah, you are. You're right, 100%. So Bill, as long as Bill wants to coach in the NFL, a team's going to take him. A team will take him. You see it with players all the time. You saw it with Emmitt Smith going to the Cardinals late in his career. Even though everyone knew it was going to be a disaster, they still wanted to do it because guess what? It affects your bottom line. It makes you more money, and that's why teams do it. I think
Zeke to the Pats?
Well, yeah, another one. Perfect, another one. Bill should get traded to the LA Chargers to coach that team that has a lot of talent, and they have a lot of talent in that defense, which I think he could fix. And then just let Herbert, kind of like the end with Tom, let Tom do what he's going to do in the offense. You control the defense. I think that they could find a lot of success with Bill in LA there. Besides the point, what I think the Pats need to do on their end, outside of trading Bill, promote Gerard Mayo to head coach because everyone on the team loves him. And if you're going to find some sort of buy-in again, it's going to be with Mayo. So you have to promote Mayo, revitalize, re-energize that defense, which we know has talent. We know it's good. You have all the pieces that you need, maybe add in a linebacker, and then the defense is fine. The thing that really fucked him over was Judon getting hurt. Even beyond Christian Gonzalez getting hurt, Judon getting hurt is what really put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
And then rebuild the offense. Keep Bill O'Brien on as the OC. I really don't think that it's been him that's the problem at all with the offense. I think it's the lack of talent. I think it's the way that Mac has played. I think the O-line is awful. And obviously there's –
oh, my gosh.
The O-line is so bad. The O-line is horrible. You have to completely rebuild from there. Get a guy like Drake May in the draft, which you're on pace to do. I don't think you even have to tank. I think you have to go out there and be yourself, and you will fall into a top 5 pick. So honestly, I think with Mayo, they'll be in good hands. It'll be a little rocky at first. They won't be especially with the state of the division, how good the division is. But if you do a complete rebuild with Mayo, give him the keys, give him a 5-year period to turn it around, especially given how good the Bills and the Dolphins and even the Jets is looking at are going to be for the next few years. Hand the keys over to Mayo, let him do what he's going to do, see what he can do, and draft a new quarterback and get it started from there. That's what I think the Pats need to do. As much as I love Mac, and as much as I think everything that happened isn't really on him, at this point, he's shot. His confidence is done. You have to start fresh with a new guy. Hopefully Drake May, because he is the real deal. And I was talking to this. Sorry, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here.
No, go ahead.
I was talking to our friend Jason. If you watch Drake May and watch Drew Bledsoe right next to each other, they have the same exact throwing motion. They have a very similar build. And how poetic would that be to draft another guy like a Bledsoe to bring you back to a winning culture? Bledsoe, who doesn't get enough credit for everything that he did for the Patriots, given that Tom took over and won the Super Bowl. Drew Bledsoe, I would argue, is one of the biggest reasons that the Pats have the culture that they've had over the past 25 years. He is the reason that they were able to build what they were able to build. You needed that guy to get you out of the dog shit zone into we're a real team, we're a real competitor. And to me, that's what Drew Bledsoe did. So I think it would be, honestly, it would be a beautiful thing to see a guy like Drew Bledsoe come back and do the same thing. It'd be a full circle type of thing for the franchise.
Yeah. So I got a couple things I want to post you here. Do you think it's worth it to, give Malik Cunningham some starts, whoever it is, Will Grier some starts, in hopes of being bad enough to maybe secure that number 1 overall pick? Because Caleb Williams is, as good as Drake May might be, Caleb Williams has pretty much all the hype right now. What do you think about that?
I would honestly rather Drake May over Caleb Williams. And here's why. I think Caleb Williams has an attitude problem. We've seen what he's been saying I don't know if you've seen it, but the last few days, He's been saying some wild stuff that if I'm a team, I want no part of that. You're not even in the league yet. And it's completely different from the way that Eli and Elway went about it, where they said, well, we don't want to go to this team. It's asking for ownership in a team. Like, who do you think you are? Honestly, who do you think you are? At least John Elway was a spectacular – I'm not saying that Caleb Williams isn't a spectacular athlete, but Elway was drafted by the Yankees. He was the best football player in the nation. Not that Caleb Williams isn't. Eli Manning was a Manning, Peyton Manning's little brother and Archie's son, so you knew what you had there. You knew that Eli Manning was going to be great. Caleb Williams, like, who do you think you are? Really? Who do you think you are to ask for ownership? Like, dude, you're a college quarterback. You can't be saying shit like that. To me, that means that there's going to be further problems down the line, and you don't want to get beholden to a guy. In all honesty, I don't care how good he is. You don't want to get beholden to a guy like that. So I'd rather Drake May.
Okay, so that's interesting. So, and I hear you on a lot of those points. The stuff he's been saying is definitely been a little troubling recently. I don't think he should be going out there and talking all that. At the end of the day, like, we've seen guys be great in college and then really underwhelming.
And just not good.
Exactly. It's a completely different game over there.
Now, with that said, though, Caleb Williams would be the biggest bust. He would be the biggest bust that we've
the
seen.
way he's talking, yes. And so with all things accounted for, that being said, exactly what you just mentioned, I still like Caleb Williams a lot. He's easily my QB1 here. And I actually have a different QB2 than you. It's not Drake May for me. It's actually Michael Penix Jr. I really like him.
That's interesting.
I really like him. And I just think that, what we've seen since in the post-Brady era is a lot of being behind the curve. A lot of, we're still doing stuff the old way. We're still not adjusting. Right. I think we need to adjust. And, not that you can't do it with a pocket passer. Drake May, it's not like he can't move.
Right. A bit of a Herbert quality.
Exactly. Yes. He's like 6'4", 230, I believe. And he can move a little bit. So not that he can't do it, but I just think Penix brings a whole nother, way that this offense can really get going. Like, I think that this is a team that we need the playmakers. We need all the playmakers we can get, just because we know we're not going to hit on QB or a receiver in the draft. Right. We know we're not going to sign a big receiver.
Well, what if Bill's not there?
See,
then you could.
Then, yeah, exactly.
Maybe you would.
Then things change. But, going off the past decade, 2 decades, you can't expect us to hit on a receiver. You can't expect us to hit on a stud running back. Ramondre is good, and this O-line is a lot to blame. But, I wouldn't put him in the top 10 right now. But what I'm saying here is, why don't we go ahead and grab a quarterback that can make those plays a little bit himself, as well as from the pocket? I mean, we saw him at Indiana. He was great. I understand there's a lot to worry about with coming off that those 2 ACLs. Mm-hmm. And I think a reason for why I could see the Patriots doing this is because what are we always known to do on draft day? And if Belichick's still there, we'll probably do again.
Take the surprising pick that no one thought you would.
Well, we usually trade back first and then do that.
God.
So
You're right.
I mean, Penix, as good as he is and as good as he might do to finish the year, he's mocked around 22 right now. I could see us trading back to around 12, 15 and trying to get that and trying to get some more value. In that situation, May's not lasting. Caleb's definitely not lasting. I don't think Shedeur is going to enter the draft. So I think Penix is a huge, not red flag, but like blinking alarm that's right there. Right. And it's like, you can go get him and still get capital left. So that's why I think this might be a move that the Pats could go for. And it would be interesting to see because, we've never really had a quarterback that, he's a lefty, I believe, right? We've never had a guy that could just make things happen on his feet while, being able to move out of the pocket and throw on the run. I mean, I'm interested to see what you think.
If Bill does that, I will officially quit my Patriots fandom. If you have Drake May in the hand and you go back and take someone out, I personally, and this is because I think Drake May, it's going to sound a little blasphemous, I think he is the most sure thing in the draft. He might not have the highest ceiling, but I think he has the least bust ability out of all the quarterbacks that are coming in. And I know that sounds crazy with Caleb Williams, but to be honest, his comments disturbed me that much this week. That's how much I'm worried about it. I'm not saying he will be a bust. I'm saying I'm worried. I'm worried about a guy having that kind of attitude coming in. If you have Drake May sitting there and you're at like 4 or 5, which you will be there. You're the Patriots right now. You will be in 4 through 6. You will be in that territory. You are that bad.
Yeah.
If you leave Drake May on the board, I'll be fucking pissed. I will be pissed. I will be so mad. So mad.
Yeah, that would be it would depend on what they do with it. But
it would be so Bill. It would be so Bill to do that.
Yeah, and
then again, does Kraft step in and say, hey, no, you're taking this kid. You're not trading back. You're taking this kid right now.
What I was gonna say is, what do you think about all the reports, especially today and yesterday, that are coming out about Kraft being very open, or not very open, but it's getting leaked. And usually what we know from Patriots, the organization, is if it's getting leaked, it's getting leaked on purpose because they're that, tight knit. Do you think it's something with Kraft? Is there truth behind those reports that Kraft is already, maybe looking at life after Belichick?
I think so. I think he was doing that last year, not just this year. From everything I've seen and everything I've read, he was extremely pissed about the move to hire Judge and Patricia last year, as any owner would be and should be. But from stuff that I've seen, I'm pretty sure that Kraft was close to pulling the trigger and getting rid of Bill last year, even before the season. So if he was that close last year, when you go 8-9, I mean, why wouldn't you get rid of him when you're going 3-14?
No, for sure.
Makes sense. And I mean, everything that they've said to Mayo, and I know that we went through the same thing with McDaniels, talking about, oh, you're next in line. It was completely different. Like, Bill was making the playoffs then. He went 10-7 with a rookie quarterback, and it looked like let's be honest, it looked like Bill may have gotten another Super Bowl in him. He may have had another one in him. When you go 10-7 with a rookie quarterback, like, there's no ceiling on that. There's no ceiling.
There's no reason to think that.
No reason to think that he couldn't get it done again. But yeah, if you're 3-14 and you're Robert Kraft, who is an aggressive businessman and does whatever it takes to win, you're getting rid of Bill. I can't see him keeping him. And to be honest, the whole keep Bill as the coach, get rid of him as the GM thing, that doesn't work for me. He would never. It doesn't work.
Well, I don't even think he would.
I don't think it works for him either.
I mean, everything we know about Bill Belichick is, I want to do things my way or the highway. So why would he? No.
And like, on top of Bill himself, you got to get his fucking kid out of there. I'm so sick of seeing his son. Like, get the fuck out of here. Honestly, get him out of here. Just sticking his tongue out on national television. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm so sick of seeing him.
I think we agree on a lot of these points, and I'm excited to see as the draft heats up and that college football season heats up, and we kind of see where we're going to be picking. these conversations are going to be good, especially if I'm on the Caleb train and you're on the May train.
Right.
It'll be cool to see how that pans. So make sure you guys stay tuned and subscribe to keep following our content and seeing that. But back to the game. Bills at Pats +9 are the Patriots underdogs by 9 points. 40 is the over/under. I think the Patriots lose in this one.
Yep.
I'm not taking the 9 points just because who knows? It's the Patriots at home against the Bills. We have a history of course, in the Brady era, but we have a history of, really putting the hurt on the Bills at times. So I'm not going to go with that 9 points. What I'm going to say, though, is Bills over team total 24.5 points. I think that's one of the biggest locks of the week. This Bills offense has been, even when it's had its slow points, it's still been scoring a lot of points. So give me that Bills over 24.5. That's my pick, and I'm going Bills. I think the Bills win this game. What about you?
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills as well. I think they absolutely crushed the Pats. Again, I think the over hits, and I think it's because of one team scoring. I think the Bills hit the over themselves.
Yeah, they could.
So yeah. This team is bad. There's no buy-in. The Bills need a get-right win. And you know what's interesting? I heard this on one of my favorite Boston shows today. Does it really seem like... Remember Mac's rookie year when the Bills beat us and you could just tell that they reveled in it? They loved it. Like, they loved that they beat the Pats.
That playoff one?
Yeah. It just fired them up that they kicked the Pats' ass.
Ugh.
They beat us and they don't care anymore. That's how much you've fallen. They beat you and they really... It's like another day at the office. They really don't care.
Yeah,
which is kind of embarrassing. Like, really embarrassing. So...
Yeah, I mean, we had all the momentum coming off a 20-year dynasty to stay, even if we're a mediocre team and we're just flirting with the playoffs every year, we just stay, aggressive and stay in the minds of other teams.
Mm-hmm.
We've fallen so far that we're an afterthought.
You lose and no one cares. No one cares.
Yeah, and it reminds me of, the Cowboys when everyone was like, oh, maybe they're going to be good this year, and then they were terrible. They get Zeke at pick 4, I think, something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think they went to the playoffs after they were great. You know what I mean? It's not even one of those things. It's not like, oh, it's our off year, we're going to get a high pick and then bounce right back. It's not like that, I don't think.
No,
I think this is
rebuild.
Exactly. I think we need to go into a full rebuild, and we talked about that last week.
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago. We didn't buy into a complete rebuild, and that's why you're in the situation that you are now. I think Bill tried to chase Tom's success in Tampa way too quick. He tried to get ahead of the curve.
I mean,
he
either
knew that
way,
Tom was going to win. He knew that Tom was going to win.
He wanted to keep up.
And he wanted to keep up with him, exactly. And this is what it got you.
Yeah.
I understand Bill's mindset
100%.
in that, but listen, that led to your demise in New England, which is kind of sad, but hey, if you're going to win games, you can't be here anymore.
Agreed. Okay, on to this next one, because we took a decent chunk of time on that one.